Welcome to Expats Everywhere. Can you tell us your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Sanja and I'm from Macedonia. I lived a couple of different places. I work in marketing, in digital marketing, and currently work as a digital project manager. Um, I love traveling and I love Canada.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
you said you've lived in a couple places. Where have you lived?
Yeah, good question. Lived in for 5 years in Greece, couple of years in Serbia, 2 years in Montenegro, 2 years in the States, and now 5 years in Canada.
Okay, and where in Canada do you live?
Currently, we're in Toronto, Canada. Yeah,
And how long have you been in Toronto?
5 years. Yeah,
5 years.
since 2010.
Okay, so let's talk about your visa process a little bit. Do you have a visa for Canada?
Yeah, we actually got our immigration visa. But initially, when we applied for a long-term skilled worker visa in 2006, and it took us like 4 years to get the visa. Basically, it was a lot of documentation, a lot of checkups that we need to go through, and we waited for 4 years. We got the immigration visa and landed in Canada, and after 3 years we got our Canadian citizenship.
Okay, so you currently hold a Canadian passport.
Yes.
Yes. Do you hold a passport from your country as well?
Yes, so
Okay.
we do have a dual
A dual
citizenship.
citizenship.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So when you first came to Canada, how did you find a job?
um, we searched online primarily and applied online to different thousand different job postings, and it was difficult for us to find a job initially. I was more lucky than my husband and found my job in 3 months. Applied to this for this position, prepared for the interview, went out for two different interviews, and then finally I got the offer. It was with a local agency in advertising, so that was really good. And I can say it's pretty much I was really lucky though. It was the right time and right place for this position, and I fit the description. My husband, on the other hand, had a little bit more difficulty finding a job, but after a year, it was much better. We both had jobs and had a better time in Canada.
Okay, so when you applied for this job, what kind of visa were you on?
We had permanent residency actually. As soon as we got the immigration visa, we applied for our SIM cards and for our PR cards, and we were basically like Canadian citizens
Okay,
immediately
so you
after.
didn't have any problems applying for jobs
No,
because
no,
of that.
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Actually, it was more so the problem was lacking the Canadian experience, which something that employers actually are looking for it. And all the time we would be asked, "Do you have any Canadian experience?" We didn't. So that was the most difficult. So you have to sell yourself as a good asset as a good resource, even without the Canadian experience. That was actually the most challenging part.
Okay, good. So let's talk about your job. What do you do?
I work in marketing as a digital project manager. I manage websites and mobile apps and different types of digital projects. I work on the agency side, so I work for local advertising and digital agencies. I've been in project management for 6 years now, and I worked in different agencies back home as well. So yeah, it's very exciting field to be working in because digital is really developing a lot. So
All
yeah.
right, the company that you work for, how diverse are they? Are there lots of different nationalities that work with you?
To be honest, not really. I mean, corporations are, agencies are not so much. I mean, they don't have a lot of diversity. Mostly it's um, local Canadians, and there are few of us that are from outside of Canada, but we do have the experience, so it's getting better there, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you meet people when you first got to Canada?
Uh, Mainly Facebook. So basically, there are some Facebook groups for example, Macedonians in Canada or immigrants in Canada. They do have a good support service network for immigrants in Canada. So they offer any kind of like networking events, and they offer things like that, but primarily through Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of jobs do your friends have that you've met over here that aren't from Canada?
Oh, really good jobs. So some of them are in sales, some of them work in the finance industry, selling insurance or mortgage brokers. Some of them work for as one of them is like an engineer for Power Hydro One Toronto, so for the government, working for a government body. So different types of jobs. Actually, yeah, different industries as well. Some of them are working for Rogers, which is the biggest telecommunications company in Canada.
Okay, and did they have the same process as you with the visa? Are they Canadian
Yes.
citizens as well?
Yes, all of them are Canadian citizens right now, but they had to go through the approvals and application for immigration visa, which took for them as well a couple of years until you go through the process, get approved, and then come to Canada.
Okay, so it's not really a difficult process. It's just a long process, a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, just because there are a lot of applications from all over the world. So you get to prepare your documentation, you send your documentation, and there is this long waiting period for your documents to get reviewed. Then they get back to you and send you a letter if anything is missing or if you're good with your application, and then you wait for application to be processed, and that takes a long time. And then once your application gets processed, then you have to go through a couple of medical checks, like you have to do different tests, and they are looking for proof of English language knowledge. And then once you go through that, then you get approved, you go take your visa, and then you can come to Canada.
Okay, so you have to do all of that stuff before coming to Canada.
Yes.
Okay, you can't do it once you come here.
No, you have to go through everything, and then once you get your visa, then you're clear and you don't have to do anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about Toronto a little bit. What's it like living in Toronto?
It's beautiful. Very different in terms of there are a lot of different nationalities, a lot of diversity, a lot of culture, a lot of parks and things to do, and clubs and bars and restaurants, and it's a beautiful place to live. There's everything for everyone, or something to do for anyone.
Okay, great. So would you say that Toronto is expensive?
Yes.
Yes.
Compared to other countries, yes. Living costs are high, especially real estate. So basically, renting a condo is more expensive than some cities in the States or somewhere in Europe. So that's really expensive. Living costs like food and I don't know, gas may be similar to the States, but on the higher end as well. Owning a car and paying the insurance is really high as well. So, but the salaries are good, so you get to live well instead of making ends meet, I guess.
Okay, so how much should someone make a month to live comfortably in Toronto in Canadian dollars?
At least, so I think 50,000 a year. That's okay salary, but okay to have maybe to rent a condo downtown with a roommate. A family, I think 100K a year, so that's at least 4,000 a month.
Okay, and with that, you could have a car, rent a condo, and live a comfortable lifestyle. Go out to eat and drink if you want.
Yeah, but not really lavish kind of lifestyle.
Okay,
right?
So a simple lifestyle.
Yeah, simple lifestyle, normal. So you get to pay all your expenses, buy whatever you need to buy, and then go out from time to time and but not save a lot at the same time, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so
That you
how
can.
much money do you need to be making to actually save a lot a year?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I think a couple that makes 150K total a year, that would be okay.
You could save a little bit. How much do
Yes.
you think you could save if two people make 150 a year?
Um, 1,000 a month.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So, if you're moving to Canada, like when you first came to Canada, how much money did you bring with you just to get started?
We had, I think, 16,000. It was the savings that we had. Basically, not a lot, but enough to cover some initial expenses, like covering the rent for a few months until we find a job and all the living expenses.
So that was enough, 16,000?
Yes, yes.
Plenty or just about enough?
Well, just about enough to cover until you get a job, and this includes if you get like if you struggle finding a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky that I found a job 3 months after, but we were living off of one salary, so it was okay. Yeah,
Okay, so if you come with a job, then it's a little easier. But if you come
much
looking for
easier.
a job, then you
Yeah,
should probably
definitely
have
have
a good amount of money.
exactly good savings to cover at least 6 months of living expenses to make sure you have enough until you find a job.
Okay. Well, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about the weather. What's the weather like in Toronto?
Oh, beautiful in the summer, very cold in the winter. So winters get really cold. We were surprised by it actually. But yeah, it gets really cold in the winter, and the winters last longer than usual. So it's about like from November till April, maybe.
Okay, so if you're packing for winter, you need lots of heavy coats, boots,
Warm
hats,
clothes,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then for the summer, it's hot enough that you can wear shorts and a tank top, or
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like it's not really really hot, but it's warm enough to yeah wear shorts. I guess.
well, how many months do you get for the summer for that nice weather?
Oh,
I guess
not a lot.
not
Not a lot. Maybe 3 at most, but not even that. Like 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. So when you're packing, is there anything in Canada that you just have not been able to find that you wish that you could find from that you used in Macedonia or in Serbia? Is there anything here that you would say I can't find? So if you're coming from a different country, bring that with you.
Good question. Um, I don't know. No, actually, it has a lot. The good thing about Canada, because it has a lot of diversity, they do have local, products. Maybe some of the local alcohol you can find it, but not really. A lot of it is available here. Whatever you had back home in terms of, I don't know, even local products, they do have them here. Most of them, the most popular ones.
Okay.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
easy to find
Easy.
a variety of things, whether
Exactly.
it's in a big supermarket or maybe a small little shop in
Yeah.
Chinatown or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's available at least.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about safety. How safe is Toronto?
Very safe for such a big city. Very safe. Crime, and there's the crime rate is really low. There are not a lot of things happening downtown. Very safe at any time during the day or at night. I've never felt in danger.
So
Yeah,
you feel
no.
comfortable walking around by yourself at night?
Yes,
No problems
totally.
there?
Alone, nothing, no problems. Public transit's available everywhere. Yeah, no issues. Actually, it's very safe. And Canada in general is really safe in terms of that. So I wouldn't yeah, be
Don't
scared
worry
to go
about
anywhere.
that.
Yeah.
And public transit is clean and safe as well?
Safe it is, clean, less so. Yeah, it could be cleaner, let's say that.
Okay. Well, what kinds of things do you do for fun in Toronto?
A lot of things. Mostly hanging out with friends at a local bar or restaurant. We go out and like for bowling or play games. Go out for a barbecue when the weather's nice. Walk by the lake. There's beautiful lakeshore area. Yeah, and a lot of outdoor activities. People are here really active, so we try to stay active as well.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay, is Toronto a good travel hub just to get anywhere in Canada or anywhere in the world, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, easy
So
to get around to
easy
other
to get it.
places.
Yes, yeah. There's different types of transport to anywhere in Canada. So, yeah, definitely. Although the prices are higher, but
All right, so easy to get around, but a little more on the expensive side.
exactly, yeah.
All right, great. Well, finally, last question. What are some pros and cons of living in Toronto?
Pros, good lifestyle. I mean, good living conditions in terms of you have everything fun and entertainment and a lot of culture and a lot of diversity. Cons, it's expensive. Only that, especially from the real estate perspective, really expensive. If you were looking to buy something, you really need to save a lot, have a good job and well-paid job, or a couple to be earning together for a couple of years and saving, and then buying something just because it's more expensive than other cities. But otherwise, it has everything. Even it's family friendly. You yeah, people live not really downtown, outside of downtown, but have good, family lifestyle. So yeah,
All
it's good.
right, awesome. Well, Sonia, thank you so much for telling us about Toronto today.
Thank you.